Welcome back to the Ride Laugh Podcast. If you love mountain biking, you are in the right place. Picture your last really fun group ride. You're back at the parking lot. The stoke is high. Everyone's talking about bikes, tech, nutrition, jumps, drops, berms. That's what we do here every week on the Ride Laugh Podcast. You love bikes. We love bikes. Let's drop in. Sage, how are you today?
Yo, Danny. Oh, man, I cannot wait to get into this one. Brother, how are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. Lots going on.
Yes.
Lots to talk about.
Oh.
It's a great time to be a mountain biker.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It's a great time in general. Like bikes are awesome right now, and tech is awesome right now, and trails are awesome right now. And the mountain biking on TV and on YouTube is just really, really fantastic. There's so much to get into. There's so much to be stoked about. There's so much to be impressed by and inspired by.
Yeah.
Mountain bikers are awesome. Our sport is so cool. Before we dig into that, I have a question about squeaky brakes.
Oh, God.
Is there anything more annoying on the trail than squeaky brakes? Because I was noticing this the other day, and it was just like, yeah, you know, this is not something that we talk about enough, but it's so annoying.
Yeah, it really is, dude. And you and I, you know, we're shooting for YouTube purposes and like, well, at least I guess the podcast, we don't include the audio, but for me, like, that's like the death sentence.
Thank God.
Yeah. It's like terrible, terrible. Why? You got squeaky brakes?
No, I don't right now. I think it's worse when you're probably in the Northeast and the humidity and you're going through water and that sort of thing.
I didn't
but
think of that. Yeah.
Every once in a while, you know, you start squeezing brake and it squeaks. And do you ever think when you have squeaky brakes, do you ever think now everyone knows when I'm braking?
Yes.
Because I'm an overbreaker. Yes. So I'm like, oh, now everyone knows that I'm like breaking into this corner, you know? And yeah. And then on the flip side, have you ever had a moment where you hear someone? So we're internalizing. We're thinking like, oh, now everyone knows that I'm overbraking. Now everyone knows when I'm braking, right?
Yeah.
Have you actually ever been riding with someone where you hear them squeak their brakes squeaking and you're like, why are they braking there?
Yeah, dude, I ride behind you all the time.
The correct answer was no. You're not overbraking, Dan. It's fine. You totally walked into that one. Friendship test, fail.
Fail.
Thanks.
Yeah. But you know what though, Danny, it's more than brakes. Like I can hear the tires slide, you know, like you don't hear too many squealy brakes, but I'll hear tires slide and I'll know, okay, you know, they're braking, which is handy because if there was no audible cue, you might just like run. There's no back brake light, you know, to let someone know that the audible cue is.
You hear you're listening to other riders' tires slide?
Yeah, you don't
like listening?
Danny, yes, absolutely. You have to be actively listening. Yes, of course. Yes.
I wonder if I guess I do hear that. I guess I do hear that sometimes. I feel like I'm more visual. But if the person's behind you, then you have to listen.
You know, now that I think about it, you do tend to run into a lot of people, actually.
Have I?
Yeah.
Have I run into a lot of people?
I think so.
Sounds like something I would know. Well, that goes into our ride order conversation, right? If I'm running into you, let me go ahead and just grab your card. You're slotted yourself incorrectly. Get behind me.
Get behind. That's right.
I don't know how many times I got to run into you.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I got to run into you to make this point. So,
Oh boy. Yeah.
Well, if the squeaky brakes or hearing the tires skid is a little bit of a glimpse into what's in my head when I'm riding, you hear that's all the fear. That's all the overthinking. You know, when you're letting them roll and you're trusting your skills and you're using your body weight to turn and you're staying centered and you're letting the tires roll instead, then my internal dialogue is probably very quiet also. Yeah. It's kind of a little window in there. But listeners, let us know when you have squeaky brakes, are you concerned that everyone now knows how much you're braking? Or when your friends have squeaky brakes, do you listen and be like, well, you didn't need to brake right there, bud?
Well, there's another audible cue, and that is the gear. You can hear someone switching gears. It lets you know, oh, there's a downhill or an uphill coming up. And I'm paying attention to that too. So.
Yes, I'm always looking at the gearing of the rider in front of me, especially if they know the trail.
Yeah.
And as far as the downhill, I'm always looking dropper post. When is the dropper post going down? Because if the post in front of me is going down, I'm dropping my post.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
In my head, I'm
something's
like,
coming up.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Now, have you ever ridden behind someone who drops their post too much? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to name names, but I have some friends that drop their post on every little thing.
Is it me?
No, I don't think it is you.
Okay.
No, I don't drop my post like for a little gully. Like I'm not a little berm. Like I'm not dropping my post for every little thing. But I guess it's not like it's a big deal, but.
Oh man, I think my post is probably down more than it's up, to be honest with you. I drop it for everything. I drop it for climbs and yeah, I don't know, man. I'm probably not a good read because my post is usually down. Yeah. Wow. That's a tough one. I think it is me.
And I was going to save this for a different, I was going to save this for later because this is another thought that I had. What is the downside of dropping the post too much?
It's cardio. Like you are working more than you probably need to. I think that would probably be your argument because you're used to telling me that I push a harder gear too much. And your argument was, I sit and I use the cadence, and I do not. I push a very hard gear most of the time because I like that style. I think that really does come from the single speeding days. And I can't let that go. I enjoy that too much. Yeah, that's interesting. I'll have to start looking at my videos.
So every time you drop the post, you're doing a squat essentially, right?
Basically. Yeah. Yeah. You're just, yeah. The advantage though is you're just that much more dynamic, so I don't know.
I mean, if there's a penalty for dropping the post too much physically, it's a very, very small penalty.
Yes.
Very small. You know what I mean? Like it's not a big deal whatsoever. Go ahead. Like riders, drop your post as much as you want to. I don't think it's really going to matter. I can't imagine that anyone ever finished a ride and they're like, man, I would have made that last climb if I didn't drop my post on all those small little gullies,
Yeah.
I don't think that happens. My question is, have you ever been riding and ran out of dropper post going up?
Oh, going up?
Yes. Have you ever run out of dropper? You know what I mean? Like what is the mechanism that makes the dropper post? No. What is the mechanism that makes the dropper post come back up? There's a gas canister in there or something like that, right?
Nowadays, yeah, it's hydraulic. Yeah.
So can that ever run out? Is that limited?
Yes. I'm not sure I'm following your question. Are you saying,
has anyone ever been on a ride and their dropper post ran out of ups?
Oh, so it wouldn't come up again. Oh, that's happened to me.
You ran out.
Yes.
That's at the end of the dropper post life.
Dude, in the winter, this is not dropper post life, but in the winter, the hydraulic lines get so cold. And then sometimes you push that button and then the thing's just, you have to reach down between your legs and kind of yank that thing up like manually.
Oh.
Whoa. That's
what are we talking about?
Jeez. Oh no.
Thanks for the instructions on how to do that. I think we got it covered. Back to dropper post. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So in the winter, but that doesn't prevent you from dropping it. I mean, sometimes they get sticky. Sometimes they don't return quite as well.
Yeah.
But does a dropper post run out of up? Does it run out of energy? Does it get to the end of the life? And am I the only one that's neurotic enough to think, do I want to use a drop here? Because eventually it's going to get to the end of its life.
I didn't know where you're going with that. That's so funny. Yeah.
I'm saving ups. It's like when I realized I was doing that, I was just like, what? Is this a thing?
Who's saving ups? Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's like saving shifts on your because you don't want to wear your chain out. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting an extra month out of this by not shifting. I mean, it seems ridiculous, but I realized it was a thought that I had in there. Like, do I need to drop here? And it might be from old school droppers because I remember like everyone, we rode bikes before there was dropper posts, and we got early dropper posts. And I remember having the conversation with you one time that it was a gas system. It was some sort of, and you saying like, oh, I don't like that. It could run out. And that's just always stuck in my mind. Like, oh, it could run out. But I don't think I've ever been on a ride where the post didn't come up because it was out of juice.
We had, man, what a memory on you. That's because
at least not in a long time. Yeah. Not in a long time.
What a memory on you, because we had, when the droppers first came out, there was the command drop post from Specialized, and you could, and that thing would run out of air, and there was a little nozzle on it, and you could actually use your shock pump to pump it up because it would lose air. I remember, dude, that dropper was so violent. Do you remember how fast that thing, you could, if you were a dude, you could get hurt by that thing. That thing came up so damn quick. Oh my goodness. It was scary. It was like, wham, woo, cracking eggs.
I loved it.
Did you really?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, obviously not if it ends up like hitting you in the rump, there's too much, but when I hit that lever, I want that thing to fire up. Yeah. I don't need it to take its time, and I want to hear it.
Right.
I want to hear it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, our last episode was a quick rip because you were off getting your coach Paisan mountain bike training. And now we have a certified mountain bike coach on the podcast. Yeah. And you could already tell, I think anyone that's been listening for the first 15 minutes of the pod, how much we've leveled up the professionalism of the podcast.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you talked about reaching down and making manual adjustments between your legs and, just really kind of let that go. Barely made a joke about it. Yeah, he's a coach now. We're professional.
Hey, bike body separation. Yes.
Yes. So we're reviewing our quick rip, which was hardtails and skills, why you need a less capable bike, underbiking versus overbiking.
Ah, yes.
And got a ton of comments. Thank you everybody that's watching on the YouTube that gives us a comment. If you're listening on the podcast and you want to go to YouTube and make a comment, if you're yelling at us in the car or you just have like something that you think would be cool, throw it into the comments on YouTube. Yeah. And while you're at it, maybe leave the YouTube running because that helps us, and certainly give a thumbs up.
That's right.
Like and subscribe.
Please.
That's right. And on your podcast players as well. Yep. Really helps the pod. Tell your friends. So awesome listeners. And awesome listeners, of course, our awesome listeners have awesome comments.
Yes.
And I would say that most listeners agree that if you're only going to have one bike, it's better to overbike. And then I would say we have got some mixed opinions on whether you should start with a hardtail or a full suspension, chicken or the egg, start with a hardtail and learn skills, start with a full suspension and make sure that you're having fun.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if it's hard to go from a full suspension to a hardtail then if you start full suspension. Like, I feel like that would be hard for people.
Yeah. It's almost like, no, it's almost like getting an e-bike first and like getting an analog after. Like it would be hard it would depend on what your cycling goals were. If your cycling goals were to just have fun and hit jumps and do whatever, there would be no reason to do that. But like for you and I, fitness is a huge deal. Like that's part of my cycling experience. I like to be fit. And so, yes, I would like to get harder and harder bikes, single speeds and like those are all really interesting to me. It also helps when you have other people that are doing the same thing. Like I would have not gone to a single speed had we not started that WSO9 group, which was Wheels Out at 9, and everybody there single speeded. So it was like, okay, let's all get a single speed.
Maybe you were destined to single speed. It would have just come about in a different way.
I really doubt it. I remember I was the last to convert.
Don't fight your destiny. Don't fight your destiny.
You're right.
You can't fight destiny.
Yeah.
But so you didn't want a single speed.
No.
You were riding a full suspension. Yeah.
I think I had a full suspension and I was the last to convert. Like Rich worked everybody, man. That dude, he worked everybody in that group and got everybody on single speeds. And I was the last convert. And I'm glad he did because it was, I would never trade that experience we did that for 4 years. 4 years, dude.
A long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every ride. Yeah. And then we didn't just like stop. We phased it out very, very slowly. But I mean, I was doing like a full 21-mile loop at West Cahal, and I were doing that, on single speeds.
Jeez Louise. Yeah.
Foofa. Yeah. And then the guy that was my mechanic at the time was like, that's a lot of stress on your body. pushing those big hills, like ride after ride after ride after ride. He's like, that might be a lot of stress on your body. And that was something to think about.
One of the things that you had pointed out on a pod a little while ago, actually a long while ago, was the full suspension bikes weren't that great. Like back then it was a little bit easier to make that decision because it was like, yeah, this bike sucks. Oh, I can get a hardtail and it's going to be a little bit more durable. It's going to be, what I mean? It was easier to make that transition, make that argument. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the hardtails, the hardtails were in a lot of ways more reliable and better peddlers, and we were doing XC stuff and they climbed better. Yeah. And then, in our group, Rich was the strongest rider. He was the best rider, and he was like single speed. So, when the strongest rider is saying this is the bike to have and this is how you're going to improve, then we all just kind of like started to follow suit.
Yeah.
And once, just like I'm sure in your group, like once someone goes e-bike, then a lot more people are going to start to get e-bikes. And, so we got, and I remember you starting to single speed, and then we went rigid single speeds.
Oh my
God.
And
you really didn't want to. You really, really didn't want to, but eventually you gave it a shot because we were all riding rigid single speeds for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. We did that for a year.
You didn't like it though.
No, I did like it because I like challenges, and I do love that aspect because the thing is like with the single speed, I mean, that's hard, but like the rigid takes it to another level because you really, not only did you not have a dropper post back then, but like picking a line suddenly became like life or death. Like you're going down some gnar, you pick the wrong line, it's over. So you and I had this conversation before, and I said I would take a rigid single speed with a dropper today. Like I would do that. Would I do a rigid single speed with no dropper? Hell no. That was a really tough year of riding. Fun and challenging, but tough. Yeah. Did you enjoy rigid single speeding?
I liked it on the climbing and some of the tech. I did like the challenge.
Yeah.
It was so precise. Where you put your tire was exactly where your tire stayed. Like there was just no guessing about it. It was so precise.
Yeah.
And I guess for me being like a slow speed guy, there was no pressure to go fast because you just couldn't.
Yeah.
There was only so much speed you could get. We always rode rocky trails. It's not like we were riding flow trails on these things. But it was abusive to the body. It was really hard.
This might be controversial and I apologize, but I have to bring it up because I saw it, and the single speed conversation reminded me of this because I used to ride 27. I did not move to 29. In fact, if I had my druthers, I wouldn't be on a 29 right now. In fact, I'm on a mullet because I'm just that stubborn. You were on a 29-inch wheel. I just saw a little while back that they are bringing out a 31-inch tire. What are your thoughts?
I think it's a 32.
Oh, it's a 32.
Regardless,
yes,
a bigger wheel. Yes, I saw that Maxxis actually has a tire for a bigger wheel.
Yeah,
I'm big wheel curious. I would. I'm tall.
Yeah.
When we talked about you and I being highlighted on Josh at Slanted Ground YouTube video where he was doing the video on style, and everyone should check that out. It's a really good video, and Lanky D and Trail Sage are in there. And one of the comments he makes is, I'm assuming this is a 29er. Dan's a tall guy, because the bike looks a little bit small on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm 6'3". I mean, there's a lot taller riders than me.
Yep.
And so I think there's probably a place for that. I don't know. I love the 29, but going from 26 to 29 was a revelation. I messed around with 27.5. I didn't find it suited me. I'm kind of a plow over guy. You're much more playful on the bike. I'm much more straightforward and pick a line right or wrong. I'm going straight, so.
Yeah, that was going to be
serves me more.
Yeah, that was going to be my question is, did you move to 29 because of how you felt it looked versus how it worked? And it sounds like it's...
No, how it worked.
Yeah, how it worked. Yeah.
When I bought my hardtail, I put 27.5 plus. I put wide 27.5 tires on there. Steve at Hardtail Party had the same bike, and he was like, this Banshee Paradox. And he was like, I want this bike to be fun and snappy, and he loved 27.5 plus tires. And I other bikes that were 27.5 plus, and I loved my fat bike. I love the plus rollover kind of that you get. And then I rode it like that for a while, and I just didn't love it. And then I put 29 wheels on it, and I was like, oh, this is so much better for my style. Like the being able to carry the momentum and the speed and the rollover. It just reinforced to me I'm a 29er guy. And that was it. After that, I was never interested in getting a bike that had anything other than 29er wheels.
Do you think there's a correlation, and this might be an obvious question, but do you think there's a correlation between your height and the wheel size? And how you like to ride?
Well, I think that there is. I think that it makes sense for a tall guy like me to have the bigger wheel. But I also know plenty of shorter riders or average height riders, normal height riders, just that like the 29.
Yeah.
It's way more popular than 27.5. And we even know some riders that are on the shorter side of the spectrum. And not being a heightist at all, just stating a fact that ride 29.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
You just made it a thing. Yeah. Yeah.
That's right.
I was sad to see that news because I feel like there are going to be a lot of people adopting it, and it just pushes the 27.5 farther and farther away. It's already really hard to find wheels, tires, and I can see it getting phased out. And if this 32 comes in, I don't know what I'm going to do, man. I don't want bigger wheels. I love the snappy playfulness of the 27.5. I loved my 26, on the single speed. And the reason why I brought this up was because when we went single speed, I realized how much harder the 26 was to push on a single speed, and I did need a little bit more rollover ability, and the 27.5 got me there. When I tried the 29, it felt like I was going to say SEPTA bus, but that only makes sense for the Philadelphia listeners. When it felt like a public transportation bus, it felt like I was steering a boat, the wheel does not fit me. It does not suit me as a rider.
Well, those were really old Geo. They figured out the 29er Geo since then. Those first 29ers that you were riding, they didn't have it figured out.
Yeah. Well,
do you think that there's a heightist agenda? Do you think that there's an anti-27.5 agenda? We're just going to keep making these wheels bigger and bigger and bigger, and soon everyone will be riding big wheels. Yes.
Oh boy.
Apparently they're German also. Yeah. Heightist are German. Yeah. Soon we will have everyone on 45-inch wheels. It's going to be fabulous.
You're putting me in a really bad spot because I think I'm going to offend a bunch of people here. I think
9.
I think the 32-inch wheel is going to make riding a lot easier, and therefore there's going to be a lot of adoption toward it.
It's not even out yet.
I know
it's not even out yet.
I remember how much people loved that about the 29er when it came out. It was like, oh my gosh, it smooths out the trail and blah blah blah, and I think a lot of people enjoy that, and for me, I did not find that to be a positive. I found that to be a negative. I like that challenge. I like that I have to work a little bit harder to get through a garden. And if people adopt the 32 and I lose my 27 and then I have to get a 29 or I have to get a 32, I'm going to really miss that. I'm going to really miss that about the smaller wheels. And I'm probably going to get some flack for this.
I thought that I don't think you're going to get flack for this. I don't think people want the 32 out. I don't think people are excited about the 32.
You just
unless
told
you're
me
like
you would.
6'5" or up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm curious, but I'm not I don't want to be in a situation where I'm like, now I got to sell my bikes, and get this, and because it's going to have all new standards, all new frames. You know what I mean? It's just so I'm on the fence about it as well. It would have to I would have to see some serious proof that it's worth it, because I love my bikes.
The only downside to a bigger wheel is it's harder to get up to speed. The positives are,
yes, it's heavier. It's heavier. It's much heavier, and it's going to take more effort to get it up to speed. And it's going to be even less playful. The reason you like 27.5, I know you're trying to talk. I know this is supposed to be a podcast where we both talk, but I'm filibustering. All the listeners are like, what happened to Sage? Did he only do half of the podcast? I thought there was someone else that Dan was supposed to be getting answers from. I see that look on your face. You have something to say, and I want to hear it. Damn, I forget what I was saying now. I made my filibustering point instead of my... Oh, the 27.5, people like it because it's playful. It's more playful. The 29 is less playful. 32 is going to be like, just driving a tank. So I think you might just lose some of the fun of mountain biking. There's going to be a point of diminishing returns where the wheel is just too big. There's got to be a sweet spot. 29 might be it. Maybe 32 is it. I don't know, but I think the reason you like 27.5 is because it's more playful, not because it's more challenging in rock gardens, but because you can, and you're that type of rider.
Yes, on both of those, or I guess that would be yes and no. I don't even know, but I do love how playful it is.
You should have just let me keep talking. You should have just let me keep going. Yeah. You're like, yes on everything, but I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. Yes, I do love the playfulness of the bike, but I also do love that challenge. I do love that it's a little bit harder. And, that playfulness is, I don't know what I'm going to try and say, except that here's what I will say. The e-bike, right, made biking more accessible and more easy. I think the 32-inch wheel would have the same kind of effect. It'll be like, oh, this is a lot easier. Why would people want to intentionally make their ride harder? I don't think there's as many people that are in my camp that would be more in the other camp. I don't know anybody else that's trying to make their rides harder. That's not true. I do know a bunch of people that still want to make their rides harder, but why is the 27.5 going away? Because people find the 29 to be more pleasing.
Easier. You're saying easier. Your hot take is that the 29er is easier, and if you're riding a 29er, you're not really there for the full challenge that a 27.5 rider is.
I don't know if I want to go that far, but I do want to say the 29er does make riding easier. That is fact. Your rollover capability is much better on a 29. The only downside that you would have is the startup, right? If you're trying to get up to speed, you can get up to speed faster with a 27.5. It's slightly heavier, but I think the weight there is negligible. And maybe like a step up would be a little bit harder because you have more wheel to move. That's what I'm finding with the Stumpy. I'm finding that step up is like much harder with the 27.5 wheel. But no, it's 29. Not. I'm sorry, 29. It's not an argument. The 29 is a easier wheel to move over stuff. It's just far more capable in that department.
And that's the word I would use. I would say it's more capable.
Yes.
Instead of easier. I like my enduro bike because it's more capable. So I can ride harder trails more comfortably. I can ride harder trails faster, more comfortably. I can do more things. It's a more capable bike. Now, an enduro bike has its drawbacks. It's heavier to pedal. And so you have to deal with that. And same thing with the bigger wheels are going to have their drawbacks. There's a sweet spot in there, they figured out the sweet spot on trail bikes. And that's continuing to evolve, but there's a certain amount of travel, certain wheel size, and there's a sweet spot there. So same thing with wheels, same thing with suspension. Well, are they changing it?
Let's use your word. Let's use your word or my word that you stole. Capable. The 32-inch wheel is going to be more capable, and I think it's going to be widely adopted, and that makes me sad.
I don't know. Let's see what happens. Listeners, what do you think? What is your opinion on the 32? What's your opinion on the 29 or the 27.5 for that matter?
Yeah.
But what's your opinion on the 32-inch wheel? The comments that I've read have been pretty negative. Oh, we don't need another wheel size. And I do think there's going to be other drawbacks. You talk about doing a lift. I mean, there are going to be other drawbacks.
Yeah,
but maybe it's just a wheel size that goes for really tall people. I don't know.
Do you know how much pushback there was when 29 first came out? You said it yourself,
oh my
clown wheels.
God,
it was crazy. Yes, the negative, anything negative always outbeats positive. When you get it's so easy to make negative comments. That is what stands out, unfortunately. So when those wheels get announced, it's all the negative people are going to make a comment. The people that don't mind it or might be curious aren't commenting like, oh, I don't mind, or it would be curious.
Yeah.
It's only yes.
All right. Well, Ride Laugh 1 at Gmail, YouTube comments, 32-inch wheels, excited, disappointed. How much easier would those wheels make your riding? Is that something that appeals to you? I just love my mountain bikes so much right now that God.
Yeah, no, I just realized there was another revolution in wheel size for dirt jumping too. I mean, look at like back in the day, the only option was BMX, right? You're talking 20-inch wheels. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm guilty here. Like I have a BMX. It's in my background. You see it right there. I don't ever want to ride that. It's so unruly and hard to maneuver. I take the 26-inch dirt jumper and it has a front shock on it. So I'm guilty. I am guilty of all the things I was saying before. You know, I opted for an easier bike. I said it. It's easier. It's not more capable. It's easier. The bigger dirt jumper is easier to ride than that BMX. I said it.
Right. But easier does not mean easy.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
I like what you did there.
There's progression.
Okay.
Yeah, there's progressions in bikes that's like, this is more fun. It's still hard to go from a mountain bike to a dirt jumper.
Yeah.
But this wheel size feels like a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more stable.
Yeah.
And there's a market for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're seeing 26-inch dirt jumpers. You're seeing 27.5 dirt jumpers, right? We just saw Jeff Jackson posted. He got a 27.5 dirt jumper. I think it's a 27.5, the new RE one. I don't think so.
No. That wasn't 27.5.
I think it was.
What, Jeff? You're going to have to comment. Dude, do you know what I got to ride?
It's sweet.
You're going to be blown away.
God.
You're going to be blown away. I was at the Phoenixville Bike Park, and it was Jeff and Melinda Cohen, and Jeff had a full suspension BMX bike. 20-inch wheels. Yes.
What?
Mind was blown. He called it like,
wow.
It was called like the swamp thing or I forget, swamp digger, or I don't know what it was called, but this thing had like really fat mountain bike tires on 20-inch wheels. It had rear shock and a front shock. And this thing was so much fun. It was so much fun, man.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm super curious about that.
Yeah.
We had a lot of people say this comment, the ultimate underbike is. So Ryan, the great jumper at Phoenixville Bike Park, says the dirt jumper, the DJ is the ultimate underbike.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, for dirt jumping and for certain kind of jumps, like Steve at Ben Spokes, he said he was taking his DJ to Mountain Creek. I can't wait to see what that looks like. But you're still not mountain biking on that. You're not taking that on the NAR. You know what I mean? Like that's very specific underbike.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be virtually impossible. I mean, those who have a dirt jumper would know, you know, you're gearing there. Unlike even though it is a single speed, the gearing would prevent you from being able to ride it. And that's the problem. Like, could you take a dirt jumper and put normal single speed gearing on it, maybe ride it on the trails? Probably. I mean, we all rode 26-inch bikes back in the day, and that's what we're talking about, a 26-inch. Yeah.
You're saying put gears on a dirt jumper? That exists, right? There's dirt jumpers that have
I'm sure
like a cassette.
I'm sure there's a dirt jumper with a cassette, but most dirt jumpers are going to be single speed, and they're single speeded or geared to be hard. They're naturally hard to pedal because you need to get up to speed.
You need to be going fast. Yeah. Exactly. If you want to get a pedal in when you're flowing through a jump line, then you need to be able to go fast. But when I go to desert trails and I bring my aggressive hardtail, I pedal up to the top in an easy gear, and then I put it in a very hard gear. I know exactly what gear to be in so that if I need to pedal during that run, I actually get some movement.
Yeah.
We talked about bringing the dirt jumper to desert trails. This is a different conversation, but talked about bringing the dirt jumper to desert trails, which I am going to get there eventually. Mm-hmm. But like I can get so many laps in on my aggressive hardtail because it's got gears. I can just like pedal to the top so quickly and easily.
Oh my God.
Whereas if I start bringing the dirt jumper, how many laps am I getting before I'm exhausted? Like and I'm walking the thing up and
yeah. Oh my God.
It's really hard. I would like gears on that thing.
No. 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 I will. You know what?
I want a motor on that thing.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes to the motor. No to the gears.
Yeah.
And yes to a dropper. I noticed that at the Phoenixville Bike Park the other day. I was like, man, I could probably pedal this thing a little bit more if this had a dropper on it. A motor definitely would be, down. Yes, I would take a SLE bike dirt jumper in a heartbeat. Like, sign me up. Like, how can I give you my money fast enough?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I know.
I know.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. So, all right. So dirt jumper, very specific bike, but also an underbike. We didn't talk about the ultimate overbike. We just didn't mention e-bikes. E-bikes that's the ultimate
total
overbike.
Miss. Yeah, total miss. Yes. Yep. Absolute overmiss on our part. Yep. Thank you. I think it was Shelly, right? Shelly and somebody else. Yeah. Totally missed that.
A few people mentioned it. Yeah. And I was thinking about it on my ride, on my hardtail ride. I was underbiking at Halls, and we rode with two people that had e-bikes, full suspension e-bikes. So David and Jamie were on their e-bikes, and AJ and I were on hardtails. AJ rode his hardtail in solidarity with me because I was bringing mine because my pivot frame cracked, which is a different story for probably a different pod. Yeah. But it was actually pretty cool. And then we had a couple, and then Jeff and Neil were on their kind of like cross country bikes. Yeah. And so a few people said, as far as ultimate underbike cross country, like Vaughn Felix said cross country carbon hardtail. A few people had mentioned cross country bike as an underbike. And then we got a few people that mentioned unicycles, which Denny Janetti said unicycle, you take a unicycle to Mountain Creek Bike Park, and he was totally joking, but our listener and great commenter, plethora of pinatas, he always comments and he wants us to talk more about fixies and, hardtail and rigid. And he was like, no, I ride a unicycle. It's actually pretty cool. So,
well,
ultimate underbike.
Denny Janetti ain't getting a unicycle unless that thing's got a E motor on it. An e-unicycle. Oh, an e-unicycle.
That's terrifying. That would be horrible. I hope they have a lot of liability insurance in that company. Yeah.
Jeez.
Holy mackerel.
I know. Dude, how are you going to glaze over your ride with the Haws? I didn't know you were with e-bikers. So let me ask you a question then. Would you, let's say climbing was not the issue. Like getting to the top of Boulder Dash was not the issue. So we're all starting at the top. Would you rather have an e-bike or the hardtail?
Oh, yeah. Probably an e-bike.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, on the ride that we did, I was totally fine on the hardtail. We did some black level trails, but I didn't think there was none of the double black. We did the entrance to Boulder Dash because the day that AJ rode with us when he had his hardtail, he walked it. And there's a drop in there. And so we both kind of rode and hit that drop. And I thought it felt really good.
Yeah.
And then we went on and continued our ride. And he's like, we were like, maybe we should do all of Boulder Dash on the hardtails again and see if we could ride more than what he rode the first time, because he was coming back from an injury. And of course, that would give me an opportunity to try it. It's a legit double black trail than to be on the hardtail. It's interesting that, because I had this frame damage right when our Underbike podcast came out. It was like, okay, guys, I'm going to be underbiking now. And it was cool. I forgot how capable that bike is. And, a lot of it is the pilot. And I was in a good flow state for a lot of the ride. And that bike's pretty capable to the point where I sent that drop on Boulder Dash. And I was like, oh, that felt pretty good. It's not a huge drop, but it's a little intimidating. A lot of people walk around it. So that was cool. What was your question? On that ride, would I have had more fun on an e-bike than the hardtail? Nah.
No, what?
I don't think so.
No, wait. No.
No, period. No explanation.
Good luck.
Like, it wasn't a yes or no question. Like,
it wasn't.
Multiple choice. There's multiple choice. Yes, no, maybe. There has to be a fourth one, right? There has to be a fourth choice. Yes, no, maybe.
All of the above. Yeah.
Look, yes. I choose that one. I'll choose all of the above.
Yeah. So you would have preferred an e-bike?
No. On the ride that we did, the hardtail was perfect. It was totally fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You like a challenge, my friend. Yeah. See?
I do. Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Now that ride was really, go ahead.
No, please.
Well, I was going to say that ride was really interesting because we talked about riding order.
Yeah.
And that was so diverse. Like these guys were riders.
Yeah.
And no one said anything. It was just like, okay, e-bikes first on the climb. And then, this guy's going to go first on the downhill, and we're going to put the hardtails in here. And for such a crazy diverse group between full suspension, e-bikes, cross-country bikes, and hardtails, like there was never a moment of like, hey, like this person shouldn't be in front of me. Like the group just like molded perfectly, and it was, we talked about that in that episode of group riding dynamics. It was pretty cool.
Did you have to change order at all? Like on the downhills, like did that order change? Like obviously you would have the e-bikes on the climb. AJ's a pretty accomplished downhiller.
Yeah, a little bit here and there. I mean, the hardtails, AJ and I went after David and Jeff. Jeff was on his cross country bike, which has a fair amount of travel, and David was on his full suspension e-bike, and he's fast anyway. Yeah. So we couldn't really keep up with them on the hardtails. And I think part of it was that, we're not riding hardtails very often. So we're also like choosing our lines much more carefully and some of that riding is just chunky, and you just can't go as fast as full suspension.
Yeah. We had, I had a ride with Shelly and Maria at the WIS, and both of them were on their SLE bikes. And we shift riding order the whole time. It was fantastic. I mean, no one said anything. It just happened naturally. Like they would just fly up the climb, and as soon as I got to the top, if it was downhill, they'd let me in front, and we just naturally fell into order. And yeah, it was a really exciting, fun ride, And man, I relished the challenge of trying to hold their wheels up the climbs. Eventually, I just had to let them go, man. Those e-bikes are something else, man. That's so much fun. I was so jealous.
It's pretty cool that you were able to hang with e-bikes, and it's also really cool. And it's a case for e-bikes that you went out with these two ladies who, analog wise would not have been able to keep up with your level of fitness, but they're shredders and they got the e-bikes, and you got to do like a big ride with them and share all those trails and all that fun and all that stoke with them because they were able to ride e-bikes. Like that's to me like a perfect case for e-bikes. People get to ride more together. Yeah. Another case for e-bikes.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Holy, we went all over the place. We never got to our topic.
We really did. I know. We were gonna get really into Hardline, and we are totally out of time. So we'll talk more about it later. I thought the Hardline was just awesome. A shout out to Louise Ferguson for being the first woman to get down that course.
Yes,
that course is freaking gnarly, and it's so, there's so much tech, there's so many jumps, the jumps are huge, the tech is steep. It's just I love the mountain bike course where you see like the line and then there's nothing there. There's just like grass or rocks and then the line starts again. You know what I mean? Like there's no rolling over that part.
No.
When you see these things and it's just like, you have to send that. No one's riding over that. Like it's a full commit.
Yeah. That it's we're always talking about progression, and you want to talk about like a race that's pushing progression. Like there ain't nothing like Hardline. I mean, like UCI downhill is cool, and they're pushing the speed progression, but Hardline is not just speed. It's like if you haven't ever watched Hardline, I would suggest go onto YouTube and watch it. The stuff that they're doing, the size of the jumps and drops and the gnar is next level. And I'm going to put out a little hot take here. I prefer the Wales Hardline over the Tasmania Hardline. What is your take, my friend?
I agree. I like that Wales course more. They're both awesome. They're both gnarly.
Yes.
But for whatever reason, that Wales course just kind of like suits my eye as far as like understanding how difficult it is. It may be because I watched, so you and Shelly were messaging through the Instagram and through text, I think, just like how, because you both love downhill racing. And so fortunately I was in that thread also. And she was like, just like geeking out on Hardline, and she was saying how much fun the practice days are to watch. And so I went on YouTube and I was just watching a whole bunch of these practice days. And specifically I was watching the Matt Jones videos, and First of all, I love Matt Jones. He's such a high vibe dude.
So
he's
funny.
so
Yes,
cool. And Jono, but he's so funny. I love the language. I mean, I wish I was English, the use of lads and, mate. And I just want to write down all these cool words. It just sounds so cool. But the practice was so cool because all the riders, and men and women, were just encouraging each other and talking about, how to hit a feature, and he was worried about it being wet, and like all the things that we worry about. Yeah. And they were also looking at other riders. You would see these incredibly, unbelievably talented pro level riders that are riding this course, and then you could see who they were in all of. They were like, "Oh my God, he already sent that!" Like, of course, so and so already wrote that. It was just like there, and so it's just like in our groups, like those elite level riders. You're like, "Oh yeah, of course, that person did that."
I know.
Yeah, it's like, it was just so cool to see them all just supporting each other. Also, it's a race.
Yeah, and
it's competitive.
Yeah. And I think the biggest takeaways for me when I watch that kind of stuff, and it's not just for Hardline, they do the same stuff for the UCI downhill, everything really. But the things that I really key into is how they talk, not just to each other, but to themselves as well. And that's, if you want to model yourself after a rider, that's what you want to mimic. Having the skill is one piece, but that mindset is so important. And they're getting to these big risks. I mean, these are life and death. It's not a joke. Like, it is life and death. It's like Rampage. Like, these gaps are like, some of the jumps were like 90 feet, 90 plus feet. You come up short on that.
They call it the 90s.
Yeah. You're dunzos. It's dunzos. And the kind of speak that they have, it's never negative, Danny. It's never like, oh no, it's positive, and it's visualization. You can hear them talk about it. Like, they're visualizing the jump and the encouragement they give to other people, but it's not a fake encouragement. It's incredible, Danny. I could watch, I'm with Shelly. I could watch the practice runs all day long. I really could.
Yeah. Because they're not mic'd up during the runs. I wish they were. I wish you could, if they were talking to themselves, I wish we could hear that.
Yeah.
But they have the commentators going, and I understand, and that's good and valuable also. But I would love to hear them mic'd up, maybe on a separate. Yeah. Because there's so many of them have their own YouTube channels. Like, guys, girls, mic yourself up. Like, we want to hear if you're talking to yourself. They might be silent for all I know.
Yeah.
But that's what you get in the practice, is that you hear all that encouragement, and you hear the way that they're approaching it, and you hear the way that they're thinking about it. And you're right, it is positive, and you got this, and so did it, and how's it running, and it's just really cool. Mountain biking culture is just awesome. That's one of the things that we absolutely love about it. How much were you looking at body position of the riders? Did you focus on that? Because I'm so focused on being centered, and we talked about this, moving forward with aggression, and that now when I watch these pro level riders, like, I'm really curious of different body positions that everyone has. Yeah. And it was a lot of different styles of how high, how low, how forward, and how back people were on the bike. And it didn't necessarily equate, I didn't think, to how fast they were, though our buddy AJ pointed out that he felt the more aggressive and committed riders were the fastest. I guess it's just kind of an interpretation of what that looks like to you.
Yeah. I yes to everything that you just said. I do pay attention to all of that. You didn't mention one thing, and it's the one thing that I pay attention the most is the pump. Like, you watch I don't want to spoil this for anybody, so I will refrain from saying any names, but the top men and women, they're finding spots on the trail where they can gain speed, not through pedaling, but just by cramming their bike into places that your bike shouldn't be crammed into. It's unbelievable. They're clearing rocks in order to just keep the speed going, and instead of braking in the turn, they're just leaning that bike in, and it's just like, you see dirt flying, and it's like, how do you not brake? Everywhere where I would be like, talk about squealy brakes in the beginning of the pod, like, you'd be hearing my brakes like, the whole time. And these guys and gals are just pumping the crap out of this terrain and just throwing their bike into the corners. And it's so impressive to watch, Danny.
It's kind of like that Scandinavian flick, right? That you've been wanting to manifest for yourself. See how that's coming for you, but it's that body English and that dynamic use of your weight and just being able to be centered and understand the bike in space, where if I put all my weight into this here, it's going to hold and it's going to catapult me. And what ends up happening is just like this beautiful flow where, it looks effortless, but they're putting so much work in. I wonder what their heart rates are by the time, because they're always out of breath by the time they get to the bottom. It's like a 2.5. Well, I think the winner was 2.5, but it's like the average is probably 3.5, 4 minutes. It's a sprint. I mean, it's so much work. I know Matt Jones was talking about how much his hands were hurting when he had to do the full qualifying run. Yeah. He had to go down the whole thing. Just like your hands are just like, falling off.
I know.
Yeah, it's awesome. And what is possible is awesome.
Yeah. So. Is there a better duo for commentating? Like, I absolutely love Eliot Jackson and Rob Warner on the telecast. Like, they, for me, they could call anything, and I just love Rob Warner's enthusiasm, and Eliot Jackson plays right off of him, man. It's the thing that I miss the most about the UCI downhill races now that it's run by Whoop instead of Red Bull. Like, I don't get my Rob Warner and Eliot Jackson, and man, those two are dynamic, man. Oh, they could call anything.
All right. Well, I don't have much to compare to because I don't watch the UCI, but they do a great job. I think mountain bike announcers, when I do hear like the enthusiasm and the love for the sport, the amazement, the amazement of what these athletes can do, they really do. That really comes across, and they really help illustrate that for anyone that doesn't know just how crazy and how amazing this is. So.
Yep.
All right. Well, we did get into some hardline, so that's good because Hardline is awesome. It's really, really fun to watch. Listeners, let us know if you enjoyed it. What your favorite part, favorite racers. Awesome that we have women completing it now, and in future years, it's just opening up the door to more and more women's competition. And she was awesome. I mean, her body position and her strength, so impressive. Yeah, there's those features, those jumps. I mean, it's funny because the jumps are like the easy part for all of them. These 90-foot jumps are like they're like, oh, okay, finally I'm at the 90-foot jump and lily pad onto another 90-foot jump.
Oh my Lord.
This looks so effortless. So awesome stuff. Mountain biking is awesome. Mountain bikers are awesome.
Yes.
Speaking of an awesome mountain biker, our buddy Ryan Butler, who was attacked by, we said Javelina, but apparently it's Javelina, the little pig that attacked him and knocked him off his bike. And we made jokes that we should kill the pig and make bacon out of it, and Ryan could eat the bacon and his soul would be restored.
Yes.
I made those jokes, and then Ryan's like, by the way, I'm a vegetarian. Please don't kill the pig. So still... I'm still going to kill it if I see it. I'm sorry, Ryan. This pig needs to die. No, I'm sure it was a mistake. Maybe the pig's blind. Maybe it was a blind pig, ran into him by accident. He didn't be hunted down. It was a confused old blind pig. It was an accident. It's nobody's fault. Nobody's eating bacon except for me. Ryan's not eating bacon. That's fine. But heal up, buddy.
Yes.
It was I know he's in a lot of discomfort, so just sending some more love to Ryan. And now that I know he's a vegetarian, I felt bad about trying to kill the pig. What's your mountain bike gratitude of the week, buddy?
Bud, it is if you follow my channel, I did a review on some boneless conduction headphones that I've been using, the Shocks Open Run Mini. I've been using these things for, 4 years, 5 years, and they finally died on me. And I didn't realize how much I relied on music on my road rides and, on my solo rides. So my gratitude goes to these Sunto Sonics, which I just happen to have. They rescued a bunch of rides for me.
Oh.
I don't know if I like them as much as the Open Run Me, but my goodness, it's been nice to have music back on my rides. So thank you, Sunto Sonics, for rescuing my solo rides.
When you did not have music, did you find it harder to go out to get out for a solo ride, knowing that it was just going to be you and your thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah. There was like moments of panic.
Especially a road ride.
Yeah. Yes, Danny. Like there was moments of panic when that thing died. When my Overruns Mini died, I like literally like my heart started beating. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Is that terrible? That's terrible. I can't even enjoy a ride.
Don't leave me alone with these thoughts. Don't leave me alone with these thoughts. I'm going crazy. That's how boring road riding is.
Oh boy. Yeah. But I'll take them on my mountain bike rides too, though. Like I did one at Mount Penn this weekend. It was solo. It just happened to be really crappy weather. I put a little music on. Yeah. It was fantastic. Yeah. But I will ride a mountain bike without music. I'd rather not, but I will.
Right. Yeah. On a solo ride.
Yes.
Yes. I'm the same way. I could solo ride mountain bike without music. I did it for many, many years. It's nice having music. I put it in one ear. You got the bone conducting, so your ears are open also because we want to be able to hear the brakes and we want to be able to hear the trail and the tires and the skidding. Which I thought I wasn't listening for, but here's all the reasons that I am listening for it. So Ride Laugh 1 at Gmail and YouTube comments on your favorite headphones if you have a pair or if you listen to music. We've gotten into that a little bit, but whether you're singing a song to yourself or do you like to have music on? Do you like to be just in your thoughts and have that nice, peaceful, quiet? Yeah. And when you're out in the trail, out in nature, there's something special to that as well. When the music's off and you can hear how beautiful our world is. Okay. My mountain bike gratitude of the week has to go to my second bike, my backup bike, my Banshee Paradox V3. And we talked many times about having multiple bikes. And I think everyone that's serious about mountain biking would probably want at least 2 bikes because these things break. And it's nice to have a backup bike. And it's changed the way that I'm riding. It's not a full suspension bike. It's okay. I got to think about what kind of ride I want to do and what I'm comfortable on. And then going out and riding it and being like, oh, I can do more than I thought on this bike. Yeah. It's a really cool bike. I've been taking it to desert trails since I got here. So it's mostly been jumping, but then going and riding hauls and riding some tech. And it's a really cool, excellent bike. And I'm very, very grateful for it. I've had it for quite some time now. And it's a great second bike. So thank you, Banshee. Banshee makes great bikes. And the Paradox V3 is an awesome 29er aggressive hardtail. I'm looking forward to actually looking forward to more challenges on that bike and riding more and more trails on that bike.
I love it.
Thank you, Banshee.
That fits right into our conversation that we're having about challenging ourselves. Yeah, for sure. Mountain bike tip is another issue that I had this week. So I talked about my bone conduction headphones breaking and I had to get a new one. My Tevas fell apart on me. So
shoes.
my
shoes.
My mountain bike flat pedal shoes, like the sole
that you thought were Airwalks.
Yeah.
As soon as you found out they were Tevas, as soon as the Airwalk mysticism fell off of them and then you found out they were Tevas, they self-destructed.
Yes.
Gigs up.
Gigs up. Yes.
He knows. Self-destruct. It's over, boys. He found out.
Well, my mountain bike tip, and this is fantastic because I have saved so many shoes with this. Shoe glue is unbelievable. If you have any kind of a tear in the sole, and I have repaired a million of these shoes, the shoe glue is fantastic. It's kind of like super glue, but made for shoes specifically. So it's like if I had to describe it, it looks like rubber cement. It has that consistency. And so there's a little bit of flex. And that's the difference between like super glue and like shoe glue is shoe glue retains its flexibility. It is fantastic. You will extend the life of your shoes by months and months and months. So that is my mountain bike tip, shoe glue.
Yeah, that's a great tip. Mountain bike shoes get ripped up so easily, so quickly, depending where you're riding, especially in Arizona here. Like you just rub up against a couple of rocks and, you start taking chunks out of your shoe. Yeah. Having that shoe glue to put them back together. Mountain bike shoes are expensive. We talked about this before, depending what you're getting, they can be expensive. So having shoe glue, which I don't think a lot of people use, you're the only, I don't know, maybe people just aren't talking about it, but I don't think a ton of people use it or know about it. So I think that's a really good tip. I know that you used it when you were out here in Arizona. You put your shoes back together.
Yes.
And our garage smelled like glue for like a week and a half because, man, that stuff is potent.
It's potent. Holy moly.
Yeah. I was getting high just hanging out in the garage. I was just like, excuse me, honey. I'm going to go hang out in the garage and then come back in and we'll watch something funny.
Yeah. Yes.
I got the munchies from your shoe glue.
Shoe Goo.
All right. Shoe Goo.
Yes. I wait.
Goo. It's a brand. Yes. Is it an actual brand called Shoe Goo? Are we going to have a link in the comments?
We will have a link in the comments. I thought I had a tube laying around here, but I do not. But
I thought you were just talking about shoe glue in general, but it's an actual brand called Shoe Goo.
Well, yes. And yes, it is a shoe glue and it's called Shoe Goo.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Your favorite shoe glue is Shoe Goo.
Yeah.
Who's on first?
I'm high right now.
Yeah, all the listeners are like, did they just open up a bottle of this Shoe Goo? The podcast we started off with a mountain bike coach and we had elevated the podcast, and then this is how we finish it.
Yeah.
Well, if you're still listening, you're definitely one of us. You got a good sense of humor. You love mountain biking. You love riding bikes. You love talking bikes. Please rate and subscribe on your podcast player. Please give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Leave us a comment. Ride Laugh on a Gmail with any extended notes for us or anything that you want to talk about. And we are accepting super thanks. So if you're feeling generous, hit us up with the super thanks. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Everyone have a fantastic week. Tell your friends about the podcast. Have a great week. Great week of and a great week of riding. Let's do this again. Everyone have a great week and a great week of riding. Ride and laugh.
I'll see you, everybody.